Bitcoin, technical analysis, and macroeconomic fundamentals. By the end of this stream, you'll have everything you need to know about Bitcoin before anyone else does. Guaranteed.
One of the things that the president instructed us to do was to evaluate the idea for a Bitcoin reserve. And so that is one of the things, that's one of the first things we're going to look at as part of the internal working group in the administration. So as soon as we get all that set up, we're still waiting for some cabinet secretaries who are on the working group to get confirmed. So we're still in the very early stages of this. But that's one of the first things we're gonna look at is the feasibility of a Bitcoin reserve. I think the concept of the sovereign wealth fund is a little separate, and you'd have to talk to Secretary Lutnick, or soon to be Secretary Lutnick, about that.
In case you didn't sit through that amazing banking committee conference event, the half an hour, that was the only 35 seconds of the Bitcoin talk in the whole thing. 35. And of course, I was thinking, just like, I was picturing all of you watching it. Let's say we were all watching it and we're all like, yeah, okay, yeah, stable coins, yeah. Let's hear about the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Come on. Let's hear about the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Is my smoke alarm going off? Thought I heard a beep. Anyway, what a letdown. That's number 2. You know what I found most hilarious about it? How excited they were to learn about it. I mean, Jesus. It's like, well, there's going to be a learning curve, right? The people, how about this? What the hell's going on? Is my alarm, my battery's out? How about this? You can't get on the committee unless you actually know about Bitcoin. Can you even fathom what's going on right here? They're going to bring all these geriatrics onto a committee and then teach them. That's day one. That's day one about blockchain and Bitcoin and crypto. Jesus, I got to do something here. Hold on. I'm going to mute this. Okay, I think I got it. Anyway, what a joke. Got to change the battery in the smoke alarm. Yeah, Mr. Mark. Here's the thing. I've been trying to. It's like I'm a caveman when it comes to certain things, especially my smoke alarm, because it's like I'm trying to, it's like, does it screw out? Is this attached to the ceiling? It just came with the house. So I fear my next move is to pull it out of the ceiling and it's gone forever. Anyway, what a bloody joke. The fact that they have to bring people onto this committee that they don't know anything about blockchain or crypto. It's like, this is why I always say technology, science, medicine, you name it, finance evolves one funeral at a time. The fact that they wouldn't immediately go younger, Jesus, we should maybe get some people who are, a little more tech savvy than these old dinosaurs that can barely, use their iPhone. It's such a disappointment. I'm I don't know how many of those I can watch, because I don't know about you, but I had like slight butterflies in my stomach. I was so excited for them to say anything about Bitcoin. Just say Bitcoin was running through my mind the whole time. Just say Bitcoin. Are they going to say Bitcoin? And I feel like if they weren't asked that question at the very end, they would have closed the whole thing without saying a goddamn thing. They wouldn't have even mentioned it. So now, at the end of the day, we all know the government needs Bitcoin more than Bitcoin needs the government. And at the same time, it's, sometimes I believe it's a beware of what you wish for. And then in my darker times, in my more bearish outlook, sometimes I believe the strategic Bitcoin is the ETF carrot of 2021. You know what I mean? Remember, we were all waiting for that. They're going to announce the ETF spot. The spot ETF is coming, right? And we kind of all, and that kind of we kept on thinking that the bull run was not done because of that spot ETF that's going to come. It's going to come, and it never did, right? And it took a couple of years. So, as much as I don't want that to happen, I would like this 2025 to erupt with that news. However, let's go back to yesterday and my old MicroStrategy theory. Perhaps that already is the Bitcoin strategic reserve. We just don't know it because we're not supposed to know these things. We're not even supposed to be here. I say that all the time. We're not even supposed to be here. The fact that the reason why it's so hard for us to exist in this paradigm is that we're not supposed to be here. This is Insidersville. Up until Bitcoin, early investment of any sort was Insidersville. So the fact that we've actually front run everything is a monumental event in its own right. Because it just doesn't happen. We're not supposed to be here. That's what makes it extra hard. So essentially, like sometimes I think, okay, well, Bitcoin's, at 1,000. Carl Elder helping to keep the lights on in this smoky studio in Winnipeg. Hit the likes, people. Hit it all day long. Hit the likes. You listen to the song. I like this chord. This is the end of What's the Matter with the Car I'm Driving? It's a C dominant 7th, add the 2nd or the 9, I guess. That's the 7th, that's the 9. Anyway, I don't know what the hell that was about. Thank you very much for the super chat, Carl Elder. A little bit of music trivia there for you on a Wednesday where absolutely nothing's happened. It was such a nothing burger of information that the market was more miffed, It's like the market sank it's just his shoulders shrunk of excitement. We're up here, the market. Stable coins, yeah. Yeah. What? Old people in the committee? What? And then it just went, finally we just went, and the market sank. But we talked about it. We said that keep your papers out on 61.8% fib at 97.1. We threw a long hair don't care wick all the way down to 96.1, a whole $1,000 off. A whole $1,000 off. Then you can see this has been our support, 61.8% fib. It's an important support. I mean, once you break it, you've basically broken the pattern. And this is a 4-hour chart. So she's a noisy little so-and-so. So who cares really about it, right? But what I'm trying to say is that you take the 61.8% Fibonacci onto any scale, it generally should be support, or that market move has been invalidated, so to speak. However, we're living in an age of fundamentals. So usually in times like this, especially in what should be the parabolic phase of the 2025 bull run, it's all fundamentally driven. Like I've said before, the whales buy OTC and sell on the exchange. It's such a raw deal, right? If you think about it, but that's where we are now. So, institutions buying like never before. Imagine 2021. And ETF buying, let's just take a mediocre day on the ETF inflows, $500 million. It would just rock the socks off the market. Now, $500 million is just met with $500 million in selling pressure somehow. I don't know how to do it. I no longer really think, I ever have known how the market works, especially the back door. I'm usually more skeptic, and I think it's all kind of, geared to screw the layman and the noob and the retail like myself out, right? Get frustrated with it. Well, this isn't how it's supposed to work. Yeah, well, that's where patience comes in, and you just like that. Back to us being here, we're not supposed to be here. This is where all the questions come up. Well, why? Well, what? Well, what? What's going to happen? How long? Right? This is the questions that retail ask themselves when we're behind the curtain. They would like nothing more than all retail to be out. And I think when I say retail, I mean hodlers like yourself and myself. I don't really mean noob retail that aren't here yet. They won't. Who knows when they'll come in? Maybe never. We did break down out of this bull flag. It could still be like this. This is the thing. The quirkiness about TA. Well, we'll just move it down like that. How's that? We'll make the bull flag fit what's going on today, and so that happens. Oh yeah, we got a new emoji. We got the Jen Friesen stage manager emoji. That's right. That's on the 4 hour. You can see, that's. It was such a monumental event, and that's all the price action we got. Really, we had a little wick up to 100K and then a wick down all the way to 91. That's $10,000. Yeah, that's pretty decent. I mean, it's a $10,000 wick. I mean, that's nothing to scoff about. So there's that. The $10,000. It's amazing that we're having $10,000 swings, and I'm saying nothing much happened. It's not much of a day. And guess what? It'll get to the point where a $10,000 day will be like $1,000 day now. So when we have $1,000 day, just to put in perspective, we are currently at, what are we at? 98.4. So to go to 99.4 is $1,000 day. Extrapolate that into the future where a $10,000 day is no longer. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? A $20,000 day? That's going to be, get the heart pumping. We won't get out of bed unless it's a $20,000 move. I suppose what would have happened if they said, well, and the reason why we have this sovereign wealth fund is so we can circumvent certain laws and statutes in the Constitution, and we can create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Boom! That would have been Sneaky Pete Vapors. Don't forget that smoke detector battery for post. The thing I've tried to change it. I think I'm going to break it because, in Zoolander when they're trying to get into the iMac and they start gently and they start hitting it. That's what I did. It's like I'm trying to. Is this screwed off? What is this? Is this in the ceiling? And that's when I just would like to just rip it off. I rip it off, But then, then I got to replace it. And I always got time for that. I got to watch boring banking committee videos at 2:30 in the afternoon. Speaking of weird things, at 4 o'clock, we get the MicroStrategy earnings. That could be a real game changer. It could be a huge signal to the market that things are hella different now. Because if it comes back the way Tesla earnings came back, like Tesla was down, but then they had half a 500 million or 500 billion? It can't be 500 billion. $500 million of upside to their Bitcoin holdings. It's funny that is a thing that, a business can, outside of what it does, outside of the value it does provide for its shareholders based on future production and earnings and value, they can just hold another asset and go up $500 million in that quarter over quarter. That in itself is such a game changer that I think it's knocked everyone out. So they saw it, they didn't really register, and it was such a crazy situation that they haven't really digested it. Think about that. A business can add $500 million in value to its stockholders, shareholders, by just putting Bitcoin in. That is such a weird game changer that I feel, you know how AI takes over everything? TRD Farmer, I'm a pro, want me to come change it. I have a feeling we'd both be there ripping it out of the ceiling. Yeah, you probably know a lot more about it than I do anyway. Imagine that. That's why I think with the advent of AI and jobs disappearing and businesses not being able to provide value anymore to a certain degree because it can just be done through AI, they will just ape in to Bitcoin as an asset in their treasury. And that will be how these zombie businesses exist. Why would they exist if they can no longer really provide any value in the economy to anything but, because they're just irrelevant, just like these politicians, these dinosaur politicians who don't even know anything about Bitcoin or blockchain, yet they're on the committee. It's so frustrating because I wonder, David Sachs, he's not a dumb guy. He knows a lot about it. So you would think that his vetting process would be, and before we even accept, these dinosaurs on the committee, I would like anyone coming on the committee to, be this tall in knowledge to ride this ride. We shouldn't be teaching these old people about blockchain technology and Bitcoin. They should have a solid knowledge base beforehand. Hey, is that too much to ask that they have, a little bit of knowledge about the committee from which they sit on? Hey, it's a good starting point. Maybe he has a little more patience than I do, but this is the thing, like when people will say this is a Discover Crypto, the piano man in the building with the best TA. Welcome. Is that Deezy? Who is that? Oh, is that Druth? Deezy or Druth? Show your face, Discover Crypto. Welcome, Randy, as well. Good morning, Randy. The stream will take you to Randy's stream. You don't got to do anything. It'll just take you to it. That's the beauty. That's the one thing YouTube really does well. It can connect these live streams to someone else, so you don't really got to do anything. Anyway, when will we see, despite sounding ageist, which I am, I essentially all those bad words that people call people, like try to from everything from conspiracy theorists to, everything in between. I'm essentially all those in some form or fashion. So I don't really care. Oh, you're ageist. Yeah, well, I am. I don't think old people that don't know anything should be in charge of such a valuable asset. Maybe the most important thing that was ever invented in our lifetimes, for sure. Putting in the hands of people that don't know anything about it seems ridiculous. Seems like a losing proposition. We haven't even got to the daily chart here, but when you get to the daily chart, you can just see we're mincing words at our channel of eternal monotony support. Who cares? Nothing going on. Look at this. Bullish engulfing candle, bearish engulfing candle. So now we are at, what have you done for me lately? The Janet Jackson of this situation is that we are in the midst of a bearish engulfing candle, which means signals, continued bearish action. I don't know. We tend to have, and I usually, when this takes me to Randy's stream, I usually put pre-stream pump, let's go. Because for the past week, we've been having this kind of 8:30 pump. For a certain degree, we get up there and then, we get the wet blanket of reality or whatever, or manipulation or whatever you want to call it. And then it kind of goes down. That being said, unless we are above the 20 moving average, we are really in no man's land or bearish country. There's no way around it. Connor Degan, in fact, did I see some Squeaky McGee? Did I see you were a channel builder? Thank you. If you have re-upped your membership, this is a channel like this kind of stays afloat. And if you know what I mean. We are the channel of ascension. We are butting our heads up against it, but really we're not doing anything unless we're above the 20 moving average. We go back historically, all our moves, our bullish moves are above the 20. All our bearish moves are below. It's kind of easy when you look at it that way. Where are we? If you want to take a quick 30,000 view, are we above the 20? Are we below the 20? Oh, we're below the 20? Oh, well, we're not doing too well. We're not doing bad. We're just not doing too well because on the daily, we don't really get too far. What did I do there? Uh-oh, I screwed that. I'll have to go back up. Alexandra G. Alexandra G gifts 5 pianomattyb memberships. Thank you very much, Alexandra G. Keeping the lights on in this Winnipeg studio. Thank you you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you for the super chat also, Carl Elder. Much appreciated. What was I trying to brew here? Oh, yeah. So even in the summer bummer, you can see all highs above the 20. Obviously, all highs above the 20, all lows below the 20. You can't really... The thing about the daily chart is that it really is where I get my pulse of the 100 likes. Are we going to get 100 likes for Duke? 69. Misco, my friend. I'm not sure. That's a tall order these days. We'll see. I'll give it there. I always reserve 5 because people will leave in the comments. It's like, count my like. I just can't watch in the morning, but count my like as one for Duke. So we'll add 5 to the running tally anyway. What was I talking about? The ding dong. Oh yeah. It is my barometer of where we are because it is such a neutral so-and-so. It's, it doesn't really show these massive spikes like the 4-hour chart. And it's not really like molasses or paint drying like the weekly or the monthly where it's hard to really view unless you zoom out. So, that's why I like the daily. It is boring. It is. Our charts on the beach during the summer bummer. Well, get ready, my friends, because there will be a summer bummer, just like any other year, despite it being a bull run. There's that whole song, sell in May, walk away. What a scary thing to do. I would never sell Bitcoin in May and walk away. I would never sell Bitcoin because here's the thing. There's going to come a time where you will be able to do way more with your Bitcoin than just sit it in your cold storage. And you'll have the safety and you'll have the insurance that you kind of, we've been lacking. Like we're going to tell stories about how crazy it was to hold Bitcoin in like 5 or 10 years. People will be, well, how did you do it? Well, at one point in my life, it was held on a piece of paper, and then we moved into this little thumb drive. A little cold card or a ledger, and it just sat there. And, you needed a seed phrase. Well, you'll always need the seed phrase, but like the anxiety of it all, sometimes you have to shut your mind off to it, or else if you get too deep into it, it can drive you a little crazy. Look at this crazy candle here. This is the ultimate in market Xanadu indecision. Ledger Stacks is awesome. I got a cold card from Bull Bitcoin, from Pablo there. He sent me one. I haven't really engaged it just because, I need a window. I need to be very comfortable with it to move stuff. I'd like to move it. I feel like they're, I don't know. It's hard because, the whole ethos of Bitcoin is don't trust, verify, right? So, but there's a lot of trusting in these cold wallets because you just, there's no back door. No. What did he say? No. Okay. I'll take your word for it. There's no way that, someone can get in there. There's no way. No. What did you say? No. Okay. I'll take your word for it. There's a lot of taking the words for it. I don't take anyone's word for anything. I don't believe anything anymore. I can't even believe my eyes sometimes, let alone some company that, can you imagine how much value Ledger has in a back door? I'm not saying they do, but I mean, a lot of people say, well, here's a funny thing too. This stream has been on for 25 minutes. The price hasn't moved. It hasn't even moved. We're still at the same price we started anyway. I forgot what I was going to say about Ledger. This weekly Xanadu indecision market equilibrium, I don't like. I like to see green candles. I don't want to see 2 red candles this February. That would mean closing. Well, it's about to go red. No, it isn't. We're at 98.5. In order for it to go red, we have to close at 97.6. It's $1,000 away. That's nothing. $1,000 away. You think we would have went $1,000 by now, but we're not. We're not even moving. Which I got to go back to that MicroStrategy earnings report at 4:00. 4:00 my time. 2:00. 2:00 California time, and 5 o'clock Eastern. I don't know. I might have got that mixed up, but Michael Saylor's going to come out of the gates with his Bitcoin, his Manhattan real estate, and he might blow the roof off of modern investing. We'll see that. That would be unbelievable to see. Can you imagine? I mean, think about, okay, hold on. The last thing before I go here. If Tesla had $500 million based on its Bitcoin holdings and MicroStrategy has 30x what Tesla has, well, yeah, I'm speechless. I see a cup and handle pattern. I see a head and shoulders in the sky. I'm looking at the moving average, convergence, divergence, the MACD. Whatever that is, let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some doodles, aka astrology for men. Looks like we'll bring Duke here. 85, it's close. Did you have your headphones on?
No, I swear.
Okay. I was yelling my brains out. Hey, I just went into Astrology for Men. I had a comment that someone liked your version of it better than mine. So let's do your version for, let's put on some sweet reverb. Let's go, buddy.
Let's do some noodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some noodles, aka astrology for men. I saw a cup and handle pattern. I saw the head and shoulders in the sky. I'm looking at the moving average, convergence, divergence, the MACD. Whatever that means. Let's do some noodles, aka astrology for men. Let's do some noodles, aka astrology for men. I'm looking at a triple top. I saw the RSI is overbought. I'm looking at the spinning top candle. Come, babe, call it a doji.
A doji?
Whatever that means. Let's do some noodles, aka astrology for men, for men. Oh, those kooky little lines. Oh, they're wasting my time. Always messing with my head. Astrology for men.
Unbelievable.
Make sure you like and subscribe.